Hi there, folks. I'm ATV. Sometimes I'm notorious, but tonight I'm just me. This is Till Five Flicks. One of the things that I always grew up loving was a movie. For a long time, it was the trip to the movies. But now, nobody just goes and watches a movie. They tend to watch them at home. And that's my goal here is to give you 5 recommendations to either watch or skip. And I'm always going to start off with a co-host. And my co-host tonight is Juice. There he is, Juicebox. You might have seen him with us before with Till 5 Wrestling on Sharpshooters. He's also quite the cinephile.
It's true, allegedly, I've been told. But yeah, thank you for having me on. Hello, everybody. I know I'm your usual resident wrestling connoisseur, but tonight we're here to talk movies and, like ATB said, just some recommendations, movies that we think, recommendations to watch or maybe not watch. So movies are one of my bigger loves as well. I have a letterbox. I use one as well. I go to the movies sometimes throughout the year. So far, I'm at 13 movies in theaters on the year, and I just hit 100 new movies from home on the year. I don't really include rewatches in my personal list with
I don't
Letterboxd.
either.
I've got I'm at 113.
I'm at 127 that I hadn't seen before at home this year.
Nice. So, and this is a by design down year for me. Typically in the last few years, I've watched about 170, 200 movies. And I kind of told myself, let me try and watch less and just kind of focus on better quality than quantity. Like, don't go for the 200 just to watch some crap.
Yeah.
I still end up watching.
You don't have to watch Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
Which I did watch a few years ago. But don't get me wrong, there are some bad movies that still make their way in. Some are guilty pleasures by choice. Like I watched the new Smurfs movie. Don't ask me why. We're not here to talk about that today. But yeah, we got.
I almost wish that had been one that you had picked. For viewers, we don't actually discuss the movies. It's not a choice thing for 4 of them. For 4 movies, I have a list of films. The co-host will give me 4 random numbers, and from there, we'll get the 4 other films. Tonight, Juice is here, and his favorite film that he told me about was Spiderman 2.
Yes.
That is available on Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm.
Of course it is, because Disney owns the rights to Fox, and it falls under Fox.
Well, Sony.
Yeah, Sony. Sorry.
Yeah.
My bad.
Either way. Yeah, no, it's all good. If anyone's going to know, it'll be me. But yeah, Sony has the rights, but I guess they have an agreement where they have them on Disney Plus right now. Sometimes they are on Netflix. They move around. But yeah, right now they're on Disney Plus to watch, which is the name of the beast with streaming services. You never know what movie's on what service, what month.
And that's the problem with it. That's why I actually waited until we were set to record to upload where stuff was.
Yeah. And, as I always say, I'm sure others say, I'm sure you agree, always support physical media. If you love the movie, buy the movie, own the movie, watch it on your DVD or Blu-ray, 4K, whatever player you have. If you can, obviously, sometimes they're only on streaming, which is the downside, but I digress.
You can't own a digital copy.
Yeah.
Really. Yep. You can rent it indefinitely, hopefully.
Yep. So, speaking of Spider-Man 2, this is the one back in the early 2000s, the one from Sam Raimi, starring Tobey Maguire. The reason I bring up the physical media, this is probably the movie that I own the most times. You talk about double dipping. This is like a octuple dip. Basically, every edition or version of it that ever came out.
Unintended with octuple there?
No, but I'll say yes. Yeah, so basically...
This is the one with Otto Octavius, for anyone that hasn't seen it. I don't know why anyone wouldn't have had. It's a great film.
Yeah, again, this is not the newer ones. This is the very first Spider-Man sequel with Alfred Molina playing Dr. Octopus, aka Otto Octavius. It's my favorite movie because Spider-Man's my favorite superhero. This is one of 2 movies that I ever saw in the theater 3 times. I usually don't go multiple times to see a movie. I saw this one in the theater 3 times, all 3 times opening weekend with 3 different groups of people. I think it's the perfect comic book movie. And the best part about it is that even if you're not a comic book fan or nerd, as you will, it's one of the few comic book movies that I think breaks beyond that mold of what can be just a
It
good movie.
it is a very good film. It's not my favorite comic book movie.
Yeah.
For me personally, it feels a little long when
Okay.
I watch it, but as a whole, it is still a great film. For me, I've seen it. I can see it every 10 years or so, and I'm good.
Oh, I've watched it so many times, plus the Spider-Man 2.5 version, which has like deleted extended content. Again, you name it, I've watched it, I've seen it from this movie. Um, I just love how it does a great job of like beating down its character, making him so human and vulnerable and just like attacked and like everything he's trying to do to be that hero that he wants to be. Like he's conflicted because everything else in his world is just being torn apart, pulled down between Mary Jane, between Aunt May getting evicted. Like spoiler, it's early on, but I think you're all okay.
Well, for me personally, with Spider-Man, it's a story I've known my whole life.
Mhm.
So I'm like, oh great, he's gonna end up having to fight this guy with 8 arms, and they're not really arms. Okay, cool.
Mhm.
But I get as a look. I enjoyed Green Lantern, so
Mhm.
I get loving this because it is a very good adaptation of a Spider-Man story. It turns a comic into a good film, and that's what comic book movies should do.
Yeah, and I think it just the love story, like it connected with me a lot at that point. 'Cause I believe I was a senior in high school at that point, so I was like just right at that age, right at that point. Just the story really hit me. The whole like will they, won't they, back and forth. Even though I knew like the history of them, but still seeing that and like going back and forth, as schmaltzy as some of the writing might be for some of you from the romantic side, yes. But you know what? I'd rather something like that than like what you kind of get today, where everything is so like quippy and like the kind of modern MCU dialogue that most are tired of. I don't hate it, but I get people being tired of it. So it's something different, and just it has the touch of the Sam Raimi as a director with his horror roots, with Doc Ock with the arms and all that stuff. So I think that's what's important is it has a voice, a vision that it's telling you something with the movie rather than just some director making some grayed out kind of modern day slop. But the
Well,
the, mu- the
speaking of
music is
speaking of
yeah.
what you consider a modern day slob,
Mhm.
the first of four that you picked
Yes.
is Jurassic World Rebirth, and I know you hated
Ugh.
it.
Yeah. Would you like me to go first, or do you want to go? You want to go?
Absolutely, because I know you're going to hate it.
Okay. So I, you know, I'll just start off with my personal ranking on my letterbox. Out of 13 movies that I've seen in theaters this year, this was the lowest ranked one for me. This was out of all the ones I've seen, I did not like this one at all. I was immensely let down. I went into it optimistic. I wanted it to be good, be a nice kind of reboot, reset of what they were going to go for. Just unfortunately, like an hour in, I was just checked out. Like again, don't want to spoil or say anything, but by the time it got to that point, like in the movie, which I think you will know, an hour or so in, like halfway through the movie, I was
Yeah,
like, really? Like you just did it
it
now? Like
almost felt like
I'm
two
already
movies.
I'm already done. Like I don't care anymore. And in my opinion, Scarlett Johansson's character completely pointless. You could have taken her out of the movie, and the movie would not have changed at all. I think you could have made Mahershala the only lead. Just if you think of all the plot points and everything that she was doing and her
Yeah,
character, like yeah, great, she was there. I love
yeah.
Scarlett
Almost
Johansson,
feel
but
like it was they split two characters for that.
yeah, it felt like she was pointless to have there.
Yeah,
Um,
and
so I
that's
yeah.
so. This movie is set 5 years after Jurassic World Dominion.
Mhm.
The dinosaurs aren't surviving real well in most of Earth. It's all covered in the first 60 seconds. There's an expedition that decides to go to one of the equatorial regions where the dinosaurs are able to survive to extract DNA from three dinosaur species on that island to help a groundbreaking medical heart issue thing. I'll admit it's a pretty weak plot there. Uh,
Mhm. Pretty much
but
the plot of the first one in a way. Like, not going after it, but like what when
See, I
Hannibal
thought it
tried it.
was more plot of the third one.
Yeah, and that's kind of the thing I think is the problem with this franchise. Like, I loved one classic. I liked two and three. I was still probably young enough to not really be judgmental of them, so I enjoyed them, didn't hate them. I liked Jurassic World, the first one with Pratt, the reboot with
Yeah,
Bryson Austin.
absolutely. That was
I
a lot
loved
of fun.
it. It was a good one. The two after that, I it fell off the wheels for me.
Well, when
I
we get
didn't like.
into cloned children in a dinosaur movie, we're kind of jumping the shark.
Yeah, so I that's why I was really hopeful that this one was going to be a nice kind of pivot
Um,
and reset, and it just felt like
Personally,
yeah,
for me, for it being a 2 hour grab a bag of popcorn and just zone out while you watch a movie, I know I'm not looking for Citizen Kane. It's genetic mutated dinosaurs. Like I
oh,
know that it's not going to be a great film. It's going to be fun. It gave me decent special effects
mhm.
until we got to D-Rex. They spoiled how dumb that looked with their own toys. Take it up with them. If you see it, that's on you.
Yep,
Uh, but for me, it was a fun movie. It accomplished what I wanted it to. Granted, I didn't go pay $15 for a ticket to go see it in the theater
mm,
because I had a feeling that it wasn't going to be worth that much. It's a six
mm,
dollar rental. Yeah, I
mhm.
would agree to that. But here
Sure,
soon, like the graphic says, it's coming to Peacock.
yeah. So by all means, I think it's coming to Peacock this Friday.
Is it
Actually,
this
or
Friday?
I'm pretty sure it's very soon.
Okay,
So
I
yeah,
know that it
but
was.
my
It's supposed to
yeah.
come last quarter, is what
Yeah,
I had said last.
I think it's pretty soon, but yeah. So my final 2 cents. Me personally, I wouldn't recommend it to anybody. If you are a hardcore fan of the originals, you've probably seen it by now. But if you're on the fence, it'll be on
Look,
Peacock.
even if you're
And
not a hardcore fan, I'm going to say check it out.
okay, and
If you like at least two Jurassic Park movies, go
mhm,
check this one out.
there you go. And if it helps you guys to know on if you are Rotten Tomatoes fans, this got a 50% on Rotten Tomatoes from the critics, 71% from the fans. So the viewers liked it more than the critics, which is the norm. But figured I'd share with you guys if that changes your mind. But that's what we think.
Yeah, so it wasn't a real good rebuilding for them, but
Mhm.
we do have a good sponsor here at Stover's Liquidation, as you can see above us. However, our main friends at Stover's are at 481 Tulsa Road in Oak Ridge, Tennessee at 865-523-4449. They have liquidation and wholesale home improvement items. Truckload quantities are available. They're closed on Sundays. They are open from 8 a.m. until 6 p.m. They're available 24 hours online at www.stoversliquidation.com. Go see them and tell them that Till 5 sent you.
And maybe juice as well. They'll know what we're
And
talking
maybe Juice. Yeah, Juice. If somebody walks into Stovers and says, "I was sent here by Juicebox," I will send you a sponsorship check just for that.
Hooray!
There you go. Now, our next film, I hadn't heard of till I decided to start building a list for this show, and I'm glad that I did because I really enjoyed it. Written and starring Jeff Daniels, we have guest artist which is available on Prime Video and Hoopla. Hoopla is an app that you can get and use your local library card. I'm a big advocate of libraries, so I'm going to include those on all these too.
For sure.
So I really like Guest Artist. It's about a New York City playwright who's down on his luck and ends up taking a job where he's going to be stuck in the freezing cold, basically, and he's not real happy about it. So it's written very much like an actual play. I loved that because I felt like I was watching something on a stage because it kept the locations to literally, or majority of the film, just the bus station, which I really liked. It is about Jeff Daniels and exploring the relationship that he has with a young playwright that is very excited for him to end up there in Lima, where he can win a Lima Award. So, what did you think of the film?
Yeah, so this was another one where this is probably the only one on our list tonight where I didn't know anything about it going in. Like all the other ones that we're going to discuss, I've either seen already or had just watched or whatever. This is the only one, never heard of it, not on my radar at all. I liked it. I think some important stuff to let people know also is that this was originally written as a play back in 2005 by Jeff Daniels, like you said. So this was a play for a long time, and it's based on pretty much the younger playwright was Jeff Daniels in real life. I don't know if you knew that.
No,
This is based
no,
on a
I love
quasi.
that you've dove into this. This is great.
Well, yeah, I wanted to know. 'Cause again, this is the only one I hadn't seen, so I was curious about it. So this is actually based on a real life event from Jeff Daniels. Jeff Daniels was the younger playwright in real life. The older playwright was an inspiration to him. He wrote this back in 2005. So without saying anything, I think you can piece together why that's kind of timely with the story and where they went with it. But yeah, that's why it was written. It was based off of a play and became the movie with Jeff Daniels starring in it. So it definitely is a play in that sense where it's very talky, very long. So as long as you're good with a movie like that, that's
Well,
just
the
kind of
dialogue keeps it moving at least. Like it's
it
not
does.
there's not a boring monologue here. This is a
Mhm.
very good back and forth. The monologues that you get out
Of
of Jeff
course.
Daniels' character are awesome to me.
I definitely just think though that's important for a viewer to like really watch this almost like it is a play, not a movie, because a lot of the things they do come off as kind of corny and lame. But if you kind of take your brain out and say, think of this in a play setting, you get why they're doing movements or overacting certain moments, if you will. I did think some of the music choices were a little off, but apparently this was original music written by somebody for the movie, so I can't knock it too much. But I thought some of it was a little off. Um, and then another note for people that might like this, it is very short. It is like 74 minutes. It's not even an hour and a half long. So
Yeah,
very short. Very,
that was one of the things I was looking for some stuff that I could add because
Mhm.
I know that it's asking a lot to randomly pick 4 movies. So
Yeah.
there's some that are shorter, and unfortunately, some people are going to have to watch both the Tron movies.
Wow. Dang. But yeah,
I really,
so overall, just for me to wrap up,
yeah,
overall, I personally I liked it, but as a movie, like I kind of, even though despite all the play things I liked it, I didn't like it as much as I thought I would. Like, you could tell obviously it's a little low budget, kind of is what it is, but it's still decent. I put it at 76 out of 100 on my list. That's not a scale. That's like the ranking of my total movies I've seen so far. So I liked it despite the ranking. Maybe I'm being a little harsh on it, but and then lastly, Rotten Tomatoes, 63% by critics, 33% by viewers. So critics like this one better than the viewers, but I think that, quite frankly, I don't think a lot of people watch this.
I don't think a lot of people went
Yeah.
into it expecting a play,
Yeah.
and I don't think most moviegoers particularly like a play
Yeah.
on the big
Like,
screen.
like
I like
for what
it
it,
because I'm
so
never going to get to
for
go
what it's
travel
worth,
and see a stage play.
sorry. So for what it's worth, if you didn't tell me that it was based on a play, me personally, I would have still dug it because I've seen other movies like that. There's another one I think it's called Malcolm and Marie with Zendaya and I think not Denzel, his son Washington. Um, Apologies for going off, but it's another one that kind of plays like a play and it's very good. But all right, enough of me. You go.
You're good. I didn't know that it was based on a play when I watched it, and that's part of the reason I think I loved it so much because I
Mhm.
think that's a cool concept.
Yeah.
And I really like the fact that this is based. The story is very much a be careful when you meet your idols,
Mhm.
and if you're somebody that's really interested in meeting your idols, I highly suggest you head to a convention. If you're
Mhm.
based around Kentucky, I suggest you go to Scarefest weekend
Whoa.
in Lexington, Kentucky, October 17th to the 19th at Central Bank Center. You can go and you can meet the entire cast of Monster Squad. I love that film. I'm going to hype that every time I hype Scarefest. But you're also going to get to meet some campy movie stars like Chris Jericho. I think he might also wrestle occasionally. And David Arquette from the Scream franchise. So there's going to have several stars there. Robert Englund's going to be there. Come meet your favorite horror stars at Scarefest weekend, October 17th through the 19th, 2025. It's the sinister side of Comic Con. You guys can meet Notorious ATB or ATB, depending on how you want to interact with me. You can meet Till 510. You might meet Eldridge if he can see you. And you can even meet Blackburn if he shows up. So be sure to check it out.
There you go.
Now,
Yeah.
next on the list is Barbarians, that I have had to explain to several people. As you can see there, it is available on AMC Plus and Canopy. Canopy is another app that you can get with your local library. Again, support your local library. Highly recommend checking out those kind of apps. So, Barbarians, I've had to explain to a coworker of mine. Shout out to Izzy. She loves movies, so we talk about them occasionally. And I was telling her about this one, and she's like, "Oh no, isn't that really gross?" And I said, "Are you thinking of Barbarian?" And I told her a brief synopsis of that, and she was like, "Yeah, that's the gross one." I said, "Yeah, Barbarians feels a lot like the strangers at a dinner party, which is probably the best way to give a synopsis of the movie. For me, the first act really drug, where we're building these pretentious little twerps. I just didn't care about them. So when we started slicing people, I was loving it.
Okay. Yeah, this one. So I watched this one back in 2022. This was, I don't know when, if you just watched it for the first time recently.
I watched it last week.
For the first time. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I saw this one a few years ago. It was on my list way, way back. So eagerly waited for it to drop, I guess, from my local library or from somewhere on a streaming service. Um, so I liked it. So at the time, in that year, I watched 200 movies. This was number 81 out of 200 for me. So it was just above my in the middle. So I enjoyed it. I liked it. Um, I think, like you said, it is a slow burn. I think what I liked about the main character is you're and also part of the point of the movie, without spoiling anything, I think, is that you're supposed to be asking yourself, are these people I'm supposed to care about? Are these really the good guys? Are these the bad guys? Who's in the right here with what I'm watching? So the slow burn throughout the dinner, again, it's a lot of talking and building up that tension, but I think it comes to a head. I think it's played. I think they play with it nicely. So and I also like the lead. I mean, I knew him from Game of Thrones. I'm not sure if you
Yeah,
know Game of
Theon
Thrones.
Greyjoy.
Yeah. So yeah, I enjoyed this one. This is probably out of the four that we watched. This is probably my favorite of the four. Because this is the most up my alley, my kind of speed of like just that kind of tension building up, who reaches a fever pitch, and then everything kind of blows up
So
and
for
comes to a
me,
head.
the
So
first act probably puts it at number 3
okay,
for me, because guest artist is going to be my favorite of the 4 that we've watched, and then I'm Jurassic World Rebirth. It's a good check your brain off. Now, before we get into this next movie, I do want to suggest that anybody watching it check out our other sponsors at Green Hemp Company. They're open from 9 a.m. until 10 p.m. Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. until 7 p.m. on Sundays. You can call them at 423-609-7138 or go see them in person at 2560 East Andrew Johnson Highway, Suite 3 in Greenville, Tennessee, 37745. Tell them that Till 5 sent you, and make sure that Hot Donna hooks you up with some good products because, folks, Happy Gilmore 2, you're going to need them. I don't know why we needed to have this wild other golf experience with this film, but we do. Happy is a retired golfer, and to provide for his family, minus his wife due to an accident at the beginning of the movie, he has to get back into golf. There's your plot, because that's the only reason we can come up with a reason for Happy Gilmore to play golf, other than he's good at playing golf. I really enjoyed it until we got into this master golf competition with Haley Joel Osment. At that point, I checked out. This movie became really dumb. I hated it at that point, and I don't recommend anybody watch it from there. The highlight of the movie to me is John Daly.
All right, so so I watched this. Did you watch this just recently again? Also this past week?
No, I watched it around the time it came out.
Yeah, no, me too. I watched it around 4th of July, which I think around the time it came out. So I have this one at 47 out of 100 for this year for me. And like, I feel like I was probably being too generous because I really left this one truly being on the fence. And that's kind of why I just put it somewhere in the middle. Cause I was like so many jokes, like either land or are duds. There are way too many cameos. Like, half of them, I don't even know who they were. They were
Well, we've
golf
got to
players.
force in Eminem to be "You're an asshole." Like, come
Yeah.
on.
And like you kind of alluded to it with what you said during your synopsis. I absolutely hated what they did as the driving motivation to get him to get back into golf. Again, I don't want to say anything and spoil it, but absolutely hated it. And that's probably what checked me out big time with the movie because it just felt so unnecessary to do. Like, you're doing a legacy comedy sequel like 20 plus years later, almost 30 years later. Like, just tell the good time. I'm tired of the serious sequels like Clerks 3, again, on a tangent. Clerks 3, awful. Hated everything they did with that one. But like, that's my example of like a legacy sequel of a comedy way later where they got to get all super serious because
We
they're older
cannot
now and they want to.
merge Kevin Smith films on this show, sir.
I love Kevin Smith, but Clerks 3, I'm sorry, that's a no go. But that's another day, I guess.
For me, it was the Silent Bob reboot was the one that I hated. So.
That's fair. Yeah, and you know what? Like, the reason I probably gave it like the higher ranking that I did is because there's obviously love and care here. Adam Sandler does care about what he's putting on the screen here with this movie, despite the duds that are in there. There's a heart in there. He does give a shit. He's not phoning it in with this lame performance. So I
almost feel like they would have been better off doing a 2-part Happy Gilmore for us to get the one that we wanted, and then they can go off with this other little pro golf Supreme League garbage bullshit. Yeah. We need Shooter McGavin to save us all. It got very forced. The whole movie was very forced. Is my big problem.
Yep. And the last thing I'll say about it, and then you can wrap up, is probably what insulted me the most as a viewer, as a fan. It had no faith that anybody had ever seen the first one. Like, it showed you, like, it kept showing you clips from the first movie.
I feel like a quarter of the movie is a clip from the last movie.
Just have faith that there's a fan base and anyone that's watching this has seen it. Like, there's no faith in that. And that totally just annoyed me. I was like, just do the movie. Stop showing me clips from the first one. But, so I don't know. Looking at my rankings now, maybe I should flip this and guest artist a little bit because I don't know. It left me feeling more annoyed than enjoying it.
Yeah. Like you have mentioned several times, we both have Letterboxd. I think I tend to use mine a little differently than you do. Mm-hmm. I rank everything that I see. I highly recommend that everybody uses Letterboxd. I rank everything I see for the year, and then I just have my year and I cut it off. There's also Just Watch, which I use to tell me what apps everything is available on. I highly recommend everybody download that app because it has been a lifesaver of annoyance for me when I've wanted to watch something.
Yep, I use both.
You use them both as well. All right.
Yeah, then. I use them both. I use them both as well.
Juice, I appreciate you joining me, man, and hopefully we'll have you again on another one of these.
Yeah, for sure. So just to wrap up on my end, I absolutely recommend Spider-Man 2. I recommend Guest Artist. I recommend Barbarians. If you're an Adam Sandler fan, watch Happy Gilmore 2. If you're a Jurassic World Rebirth fan, I wouldn't even say recommend that. So overall, positive, these 5. But yeah, it's my take.
Okay. Well, I will recommend Spider-Man 2, Jurassic World, Guest Artist. If you're into The Strangers, I recommend Barbarians. I don't recommend Happy Gilmore 2 to anybody. Just watch the first one again. Juice, I thank you for joining me. And I just want to say thanks to everyone for joining us at Till 5 Flicks, and we'll see you all on the screen next time.